you're arrested here in New Jersey for drunk driving, the police have two ways that they can determine your blood alcohol level. The first is to have you give 2 breath samples, and the second is to get a blood sample from you. Now, if you were to refuse to give a breath sample, there are consequences to that. You can be charged with a refusal, which for the most part carries the same punishments and consequences as drunk driving. But can you refuse to give a blood sample? You want to know the answer? Hi, I'm Steve Richardson, and I'm a DUI lawyer here in southern New Jersey. And the answer is yes, you can. You can refuse to give a blood sample. Now, the police do need probable cause to take a blood sample. And they can either try to take the blood sample without a warrant issued by a judge or with a warrant. Now, in all of their actions, they have to act in a reasonable manner. And they can try and take it by force if you refuse to give it voluntarily, but they have to show that the force used by the police was reasonable under the totality of the circumstances. Now, this can be tougher if they didn't have a warrant for the blood draw, because if they get a warrant, they can argue that the judge already did that balancing test, already determined that the totality of the circumstances or the charges being investigated and the evidence being sought outweighed your objection to the blood draw. So the bottom line here is that you can refuse, but the police might still succeed in taking it from you by force. On the other hand, you might be able to challenge the use of that blood test against you if you can show that the police did not act in a reasonable manner when compared and contrasted against the charges being investigated and the facts surrounding it. Were you just pulled over because you were weaving in the road, or were you in a major accident that killed some people, and that happened because you were drunk? So again, reasonable under the totality of the circumstances as to how far the police can go to make you give a blood sample. So, if you've been arrested and charged with drunk driving here in southern New Jersey, give my office a call immediately to schedule an appointment to sit down and look at your case and see what defenses you may have to the charges.